Hey y'all, this is April
and Sarah.
Welcome to Enjoy the Chaos.
Enjoy the chaos.
Yes.
And today we're going to start off with our cocktail because I have a story to tell.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I cannot wait for y'all to hear this story.
So what we have today is mom water. And I found mom water on a beach trip a month ago. So right now it's only available in Florida. So mom water people, if you're listening, please bring it to Georgia. But there's 4 flavors and they're named after moms. So we have a Karen, a Sandy, a Julie, and a Linda. Well, I guess not just moms, but women in general. And oddly enough, the Karen is the best. So we're going to start off with that one today. And it's lemon blueberry. And Karen's description is bold, daring, and unique. So we have these glasses that are from Williams-Sonoma. I am obsessed with them. They are the flat edge all-purpose glasses. And B, I'm going to let you try some too.
Yeah, be behind the scenes.
All right.
Must have a drink.
So we'll try the Karen.
Exactly. Cheers.
Pretty good, right?
Oh my gosh, it's just like water.
So I'm going to give this, 4 out of 5.
Oh, yeah.
The perfect part about this is they're non-carbonated.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just a hint of flavor. They're non-carbonated, so you don't get full. Can't beat that.
Yes.
So this is what we're going to be doing today is the mom water.
And I love you said, real quick, 4 out of 5.
Yes.
Right? So that's going to be our scale.
Yes.
So we're going to have an Enjoy the Chaos scale, right, for our drinks. And so it'll be 1 to 5, 5 being the best. And so we'll rate those each episode.
Yes. So this particular flavor, 4 out of 5 on the chaos scale.
Yes, I love it.
So
Yeah, Sarah.
funny story.
Tell us about how you've been enjoying your 40s.
I have apparently turned 40 and developed the osteoporosis because I have a new accessory to go along with our podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Here we go. It's the boot. The boot. Broke my foot in a swimming pool. How does that even happen?
How does it happen?
Who breaks their foot?
And you've
in
never
a swimming
broken a
pool?
bone?
Never broken a bone.
Before. Yeah.
I had one ligament issue from a very competitive game of Red Rover in the 5th grade. And have been
That's another episode. I love that. We got to talk about
injury free since. So past Saturday, I was babysitting some friends' kids and had my kid and 3 boys, all close in age, but they had been so good all day. So I was like, okay, let's go to the pool because the plan was we were meeting the parents at the pool later in the afternoon. So let's go to the pool. You guys have been so good. I'd not even gotten my cover up off. Kids were sunscreened, jumped in the pool, 5 floats, 3 children, and obviously they all want the same pool float.
So plenty of floats.
Plenty of floats. I mean, there's a crab and a turtle and a popsicle.
Plenty of things.
But everybody wants this plain white float that doesn't have anything on it.
Of course.
So I immediately get escalated as we do when there's water, children, you're the only adult. I immediately regretted the decision anyway. So I go to rip the pool out of the float or rip the float out of the pool, obviously, is what I would really be doing. And I'm standing on a tanning ledge. And when I take the float out, turn back around, foot goes immediately from the tanning ledge to the bottom of the pool and landed on it just right.
Ouch.
I tend to panic, which I know doesn't seem like my personality at all. So I immediately am like, surely I didn't do anything. Surely. Here I am with these children. We're at the pool. It was the pool. What happens to people in the pool? But I sit in the chair for a second and I think, I'm really not okay. Well, a friend had gotten there, so I hobble inside and I'm like, I need you to go outside with these kids. And I just start sobbing. And she's like, oh my God, what has happened? And we look down at my foot. It's purple. It's swollen. I scraped the bottom of it as well. So the bottom is dripping blood. So I call my husband, who knows my personality is to immediately go to 100. And I'm like, please come get me. And he's, okay, what's happening? So my friend tells him that we think we've broken my foot. I call you because I'm clinical, obviously, April's a nurse.
Yes.
By trade. So obviously she's my primary care physician now.
Exactly.
So she calls around, tries to help me find somewhere that I can go get an x-ray on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Find somewhere. Hobble in the door. Still not know how to navigate the foot. One shoe on, still sobbing, blood coming out from the bottom, and the lady says, I'm just finishing my lunch. If you could sign in, I'll be right with you. And so that's the first moment of, oh, okay.
Thank you. Such great customer service.
So we sit down, and you hear the fork in the background hitting the plate. Like she's legitimately
eating.
She's on her break. She does not care.
That.
She does not care. But we get registered. We get in. We find a wheelchair in the waiting room. Jean puts me in the wheelchair, and they come open the door, call my name. I'm the only person in the waiting room, so obviously it's me. She stands at the door, calls my name again, looks at me, looks at the wheelchair. I look at her, look at the wheelchair. She is not moving away from that door to come and get me. So Jean speaks up in the background. I was like, okay, I got her.
Jean's like, oh my gosh.
And wheels me back
What's
there.
happening?
And by this time, I've had some time to calm down and really think. And like, okay, well, it's just sprained. Here I have ruined our Saturday. We've left this birthday. Jean had to leave work to come and get me. I'm just being dramatic. Surely it's just bruised. And then we have the x-ray. The PA comes in. Fast forward. Break. Full on break.
Clean break.
Broken foot.
Clean
Full on broken foot. And so now I'm in this boot for 6 weeks, which has just added to the chaos of the time that we're in, which is back to school.
100%.
Back to school.
Back to school. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Which is our episode today.
Back to school.
But it did. So I'm going to add one more thing. So Sarah is going to Napa very soon. So we've been talking about her navigating Napa. And with this boot, because, it was all about what we were going to wear, what shoes we were going to wear. Now it's, you were so funny when you said, well, actually, I could probably take a carry-on now because I only have to take 2 left shoes. So I'm like, yes, that's exactly right. See the positive in all of this madness. So I thought it was great, making a funny out of making lemonade with lemons.
That's right. That's right. Margaritas with limes.
Oh, absolutely. That's so much better. Yes. Amen. I love it.
So you have 2 in school.
Yeah.
I have 1 in school.
That's right.
And you probably have the biggest milestone.
We do. So my 15-year-old. And I know at different, probably different states, different counties, they have different grades that start with high school, right? And so I just learned that not too long ago that there's some counties that have, like, high school starts with 8th grade. So to me, I'm like, wow, to me, they're still a baby. Not really, but, when you think about that age and high school starting 8th grade, wow, that's amazing. But for our schools, that's not the case. So we have a 9th grade campus that is, we combine both sides of our county, and everybody comes together in that 9th grade campus. So she was there last year. She, this year, has moved to 10th grade. So 10th grade is the official big high school, right? The official big school. So it was, it's been interesting. I'll say that. The first open house, it was chaotic. Like, there's so many people. We have no idea where to go. They hand us a piece of paper. You have all sorts of different halls going all different ways. I can see the anxiety in her face. Mm-hmm. And then that creates a little for me. Right. Because I'm like, I hope she gets to class, right? So that's important. But yeah, so I would say for her, she's super excited now. Now that she is a few weeks in, this has been a really good transition so far. So great teachers. She's been excited. I've been excited that she found her way to class. I think that's important.
She's made it.
That's right. I made sure I was highlighting all her rooms on this little map, and she was like, oh my goodness. I love that she used it, though. Like, she had to use it that first day. It only took her 1 day, though.
Of course.
So she's not 40. so she is enjoying her high school career. And Sarah and I was talking about it, like, I think for us, when you have a child that's reaching such a milestone going into high school, you look back on people who have had children that, the same age, the same grade, and it flies by. Mm-hmm. Like we were just talking about, it won't be long, she'll be gone, right? Mm-hmm. We've seen so many people recently on social media that's put their children in college. They've taken them to their little orientations and whatnot, and time flies.
It does.
So it's a little sad when you think about it. And so, speaking of sad, tell us about your story, Sarah.
Well, I'm probably going to have to be committed when it comes down to Barrett going to college, because he's only in the 2nd grade.
That's right. Yes.
And I cry every year at open house.
Yes.
And when I went to register him for pre-K, and we held him a year. His birthday
right.
is
That's
the
right.
cutoff, and we stressed and stressed and stressed. Like,
Yes.
and I know a lot of parents
yes.
Struggle with that because I posted on Facebook because obviously that's where you get all your information from.
That's exactly right.
Okay, if you had a kid and these were your options,
Yeah.
He was actually eligible to start,
Sure.
or because of his birthday, but he would have been 3 on the first day of school. And so everybody, especially with a boy, wait.
Yes.
Overwhelming majority
Yes.
wait. And that's what my gut was telling me to do. So it was just nice validation that I wasn't the only one that thought that.
Yes.
So we did wait. But when I went to register him, you go into the office and you're sitting across the desk from this lady, and I'm sure this is not what she looked like, but in my memory, like she had a super tight bun and glasses and was wearing all black and a tight collar and had a ruler on her desk. And I am sobbing filling out this registration paper.
What is B doing?
He's not with me.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
Vanna's.
Okay.
He's not with me.
Excellent.
And the lady reaches across the table and touches my hand and says, "It's just school. He has to go." And so I'm like, okay, Sarah, you apparently really got to get it together. But ever since, I have cried every year at open house because every year he gets older, and every year I know it's
right.
1 year closer to him not being with me anymore.
Yes.
And I was wondering from your perspective, because I only have the one, so
Yeah.
to me everything is emotional because I only get to do it one time.
Right.
This is it. You know, before kindergarten, I was crying at the table and I was telling Gene, like, let's have another baby. And he was like, you are why we can't have another baby. Like, I can't do this more than one time because with you.
That's
like,
right.
So
That's
the
right.
kids are hard. Your emotions are why I can't do this more than once.
Aww.
But you have more than one.
I do.
So what is
I
it like
do.
for the second one? Do you feel like you're
Yeah.
better prepared?
Yes.
When it's time for the
I
second?
think 100%. I will say those first days are like, ooh, you know, it does kind of pull on a heartstring, I will say, because you do know it's your last.
Right.
And I think probably that's the feeling you get every year.
Right.
Because you don't have another one. So your heartstrings are pulled every single year, you know. But for Ada Britt, I will say that first day is kind of like, oh, you know, she's now in, you know, she's actually in 4th grade now.
Right.
So she's in 4th grade now. Wow, you know, but it's not like the first.
Right.
Or I would say probably the only.
Right.
Because it is, you focus on that where when you have 2, there's so much things that you have to focus on. You know, like
Right.
school supplies and the clothes and the shoes and the backpacks and the this and the that. And do they have this? Do they have that? And so your mind quickly has to change.
So you get in the chaos.
Yes.
Instead of being able
100%
to savor
in
it.
the chaos. Yes.
So I will tell you
Yes.
one thing that did help a little bit of ease the anxiety was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had such a long summer.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't go back from Christmas break.
No, it was so long.
Yeah, that was Barrett's pre-K
It was
year.
hard. That was hard.
And so they didn't go back from Christmas break because of
No.
COVID. And now, even when we were in that time and everybody was quarantined, like you felt like it was the end of the world.
You did. Yeah.
Now I love thinking about how we pulled out the slip and slide on a Tuesday, or
Yes.
we had a glow stick party on a Monday, and things that we can't do because we're in the hustle and bustle of having to keep that school routine. But even though I was sad about kindergarten starting, it was like, take this kid. This is your kid now.
That's right. That's right.
And so,
I'm done.
Yes.
Here's the baton.
Yes.
It's
Like,
yours.
I've done all I can with this pre-K. Here you go. Thank
I'm
you.
done.
This kid is yours.
Yes.
And I think about that, like, because now there's that anxiety because we're not out of COVID. Obviously, it's still
That's
a
right.
thing. We're still
That's right.
taking precautions. I feel like our school system in particular has done an amazing job
Yes.
with, you know, keeping our
Agreed.
kids safe and things like that. But there's that
Yes.
little bit of fear that, oh my God, we could go back at any time.
That's right.
Please don't send him home.
Yeah.
Please don't send him home. Like, as much as I love him, thank you for taking this kid.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you for a teacher. I mean, holy moly. You know, I'm
Yes.
not a teacher.
Right.
You know,
It's definitely a calling.
it is a calling.
Definitely a calling.
100%. I agree.
And, you know,
totally do agree.
We were able to do a lot during COVID,
Yeah.
but now
That's right.
we're having to do school and dance
And all the
sports and homework and even eating dinner out last night. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't want to cook, so I was like, well, let's go to dinner. That threw us completely off the schedule.
Absolutely. Yes.
So your child is currently in an
Yes.
activity.
yes.
So tell us
Oh
how
my
you
gosh.
manage the schedule.
Not the best way I can. So I will, you know, it's hard this year, right? She is and has been in dance since she was tiny. she is still tiny, but still, like she has been in many years in dance. And so this year, dance for her is super important because she goes 2 days now. So she's super excited about it.
Right.
I'm like, oh my goodness, how do I get you there? And as soon as I get you there, I feel like I have to pick you up. And so the chaos of trying to make plans to do that is unbelievable.
Right.
So it's a challenge, I think, for every parent that has, maybe it's tutoring, maybe it's an extra activity, whatever it is, anything throws you off from your day.
Right.
And you feel like you have that anxiety build up. You're potentially could get ill.
Right.
Right. And so, not that I do that. Sorry, yes, I do. But at the same time, that just happens. That's real life.
Right.
And so I love that, when we talk about it, enjoy the chaos, step back, because it won't be long.
Right.
Our children will be gone.
Right.
And we will be those parents that I've seen on social media and I'm getting cold chills, or helping their kid go into a dormitory for college. And so, you have to take a step back, and Maddie's driving too. So she thinks that's super fun. So that's helpful.
Right.
Right. Not by herself, but still she's driving and she
Right.
thinks that's awesome. And so that's, as a mom, I don't have to drive all the time. So that's fun. But it is, you're right. For anybody that has those extra activities,
right.
It just creates another piece to be chaotic,
right.
In your everyday life.
And we're in that point where we're wanting them to be more independent.
Yes.
Yes. He's not a baby. He's about to be 8. He's not, but I still think of him as a baby.
He will always be your baby.
He will always be your baby. But
right.
when we went to orientation, 2nd grade orientation, she really tries to drive home like, you don't sit with them and do their homework.
Yes.
If they don't do their homework, there's going to be a consequence.
That's right.
If they don't do this, they have to write the name of the book they read. You don't write it for them.
Yes.
Like, if they don't, there's a consequence.
Oh, gosh,
And me, one single child,
yes,
overbearing mom, I'm like,
well,
what do you mean? He's only
still a baby, though.
Technically only 7. He's gonna be 8. He's not 27.
That's right.
Wow, he can write, but why does he have to write it for himself?
That's right.
So I am trying to step back and let him be more independent,
right.
which tugs at my heartstrings.
It does.
Because, I still want him to be little.
Yes.
But it's funny because Tracy, our friend and boss, always reminds me that there will be a day that the switch will flip and he will not be this sweet little angel anymore, and he will turn into a monster raging teenager. And she says that God does that so that you are prepared for them to go to college. Because you are ready to send them into the world.
Yes.
Because they go from loving on you and being your best friend, snuggle buddy for the first 8 years, and then the next 8, they're preparing you for them to leave your house.
Yes.
So,
and I'm in that. Yes. I understand that 100%. So I totally can relate to those words.
So why are you going to be sad to pack those boxes?
That's right. I might help you. Exactly. I totally agree. And I think for everybody, I think that's every person probably has a piece of that. They're in some sort of, even if you're not a parent, right? You probably are seeing your friends, maybe a parent, your relatives or whatnot. You're seeing that.
Right.
So on social media, there was gifts and whatnot that was being posted for first day.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh, because I want to do the right thing.
Correct.
Because I'm so thankful for teachers, whoever you are out there, like kudos to you for what you do every day. I could not do that.
Right.
So, and I'm thankful for you.
Calling.
It is that. But at the same time, I will say that I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be that parent.
Right.
That parent that doesn't do the things.
Right.
And so, but I see it. I think this year more so than anywhere.
Yes. This was the
so
first day of
interesting.
school was the
so
new
many gifts. And
was
so
the new thing.
First, I will say this year is the first year that I've seen so many first day gifts.
Yes.
Before it was all about the holidays, teacher appreciation week, all the things, but it gets expensive,
right.
So as you go through, the grades, the higher the grades, right, the more teachers you have.
Right.
And so you want to do the right thing,
right,
but it does get expensive. And so I will say I missed out on the first day teacher gift this year. So I'm sorry. It does not mean I don't love all the teachers out there, especially our children's teacher.
Right.
But, I think for parents, you do want to do the right thing, and you
Yes.
don't want to be judged about not doing the right thing,
Right.
And so I'm interested to hear maybe from others out there.
What
do you do?
Another thing that we do as women, we compare.
Yes,
we feel like we have to keep up.
100%.
My kid goes to school halfway put together. It's funny because yesterday when I brushed his hair, why do you always make me try to look like I live in a mansion? It's like, is brushed hair indicative of that you live in a mansion? Is this this is where we're at? So
100%. Yes.
So we come with clothes, we come with
That's
supplies, we send Clorox, we do the things.
That's
but
right.
I definitely do get caught up in, I'm going to be the parent that she thinks about because I didn't send the first day of school. And she probably could give two
Careless
about that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which is, so homeschool is back in full swing too.
That's right.
So those people that choose to homeschool their kids, which are the true rock stars.
They are. Holy moly.
I bet they feel some sense of relief to be back in a routine, to be back on a schedule.
Yes. Yes.
As well. So they probably make their own first day of school gifts.
I'm sure.
So.
That's interesting. That would be fun to hear from anyone that's homeschooling their
Right.
child. How different is it? You
Right.
know, because I know, just like you mentioned, the schedules, that's probably the same. But how, is it the gifts? Do you do theme rooms?
Right.
I don't know.
Do you set up your own little
your dining room? Like, how is that? And do you make it special for, I don't know, subject or whatever?
Right.
So
first day of school, is it you just move from the living room to the kitchen? Like,
right.
I am curious to see how that dynamic works for homeschool versus back in the classroom.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So,
wow. Homeschool.
Yes.
Cheers to you.
Rock stars.
Yeah.
And I know this is probably something that more women in general and not just teachers think about, but we're very fortunate in that we don't necessarily have a very rigorous dress code at our job.
That's correct.
we have leggings Thursdays and
leisure wear Thursdays.
Leisure wear Thursday, and if we feel like it on a Monday, not on Tuesdays because Big Boss Lady comes on Tuesdays.
Right.
So
gotta look legit on
right.
Tuesday.
We always look the part on Tuesdays. But so for women in the workplace as well as teachers, back to school fashion, back to work fashion. Because I know we all want to refresh our wardrobe from time to time. Want to add in new pieces. Think about what do we wear. Yes. We have found a good resource for that.
That's
or
right.
April actually saw it the other day.
So, and I've followed Loverly Gray for a long time. Her name is Brittany. She has a podcast too, and it's Life with Loverly. But she also is an influencer and has I will say a post or a reel that is all about back to school clothes for teachers or those that business casual, things like that. It's great. It's really good. What I love about her podcast and her reels is that it's very reasonable, right? I mean, it's Target, it's Walmart.
Yes.
She will go to Nordstrom and things like that, Saks Off Fifth, but at the same time, she gives you some really good ideas that is very affordable. And so I love listening to her and then watching her a lot on social media.
Right.
She is also a Bulldog fan. So that's for another episode. But yeah, so follow her. She's great.
Check out that
great
post.
ideas, teachers, parents. I think it's a great resource.
Right. And just for working women in general, there's a lot of really cute stuff on there. And for a while I got in trouble with it because I felt like if I clicked on something and it was something that we had in our area, I felt obligated to buy it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's from Target, and I shop at Target, so let me add that to my cart. And that happened again and again and again. So I've had to kind of dial it back.
That's right.
But she does have some really good, very reasonable. And what I really love about her is that she's inclusive.
Absolutely.
So she is on the smaller side. She's very tall, very thin.
Yes.
But then she does have another model that models with her that is another size. So she's not only styles for her body type, but for other body types as well. So I really appreciate that about her.
100%.
Because we'll talk about this down the road about how hard it is to buy clothes, for a petite person, a not stick figure person. Is what I'll say. So that I really appreciate that about her and her styling is that she does think about that and she's very considerate in that regard.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So
Yeah.
we are thankful to be back to school. We are thankful to be in the routine.
Yes, we are thankful.
We are very thankful for teachers.
Wow.
The true rock stars.
They are. I will
Yes.
say, teachers, man, I admire you. I know most parents do. I know there's probably some parents that, you have some, conversations with, right? And they're not always the best. But at the same time, those teachers, my sister actually said it too, is when they have kids in their classroom, it's their kiddos, right?
Yes.
It's their kiddos. It is their family, right? And they have to protect them and love them and help them to learn and whatnot. And so I can't thank you enough, teachers out there, for doing what you do every day. It is very important. And I know I couldn't ever do it. When somebody says teach something, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I get anxiety from that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not what I went to school for, So I do absolutely appreciate them.
And I appreciate that my kid is tired when he comes
Oh
home.
my gosh.
When he gets in the car.
Yes. Sleep is important.
Yes, sleep is very important.
100%.
I wasn't the one that had to be running around behind him to wear him out all day. So
Yes.
I do love that.
That's exactly right.
I'm very appreciative of that.
Yes, I love it.
So
I love it.
we
Yeah.
hope you guys are enjoying your school year. If you're back in that phase of life, if not, we hope you found something that you enjoyed, and we can't wait to see you next week.
That's right. Tune in.
That's right. Enjoy the chaos.